Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today we're looking at something very old and very rare. We are looking at the 1965 release by Fairylite from their Gerry Andersons Thunderbirds series of action figures, or action dolls as they were called back then. And this particular one we are looking at today is of Her Ladyship, Lady Penelope, Lady Penelope Crichton Ward, and this is the doll in front of us. Now, for those of you who know, Thunderbirds was a extremely popular television series created by Gerry Anderson in 1965, and it ran for 2 seasons, and then they went into the movies. They made 2 films, but unfortunately the movies wasn't a great success, despite the fact that the opening days were extremely popular. The actual movies really didn't make it big at all, which was what was a surprise considering how popular that the television series was. But the television series, they made 32 episodes, which are all about 45 to 50 minutes long, and they aired between, I think it was September 65 to December 66 on their first run, and then they had a lot of reruns after that. So anyway, I've digressed. This figure we have in front of us, this action figure, action doll in front of us, is of Her Ladyship, Lady Penelope, and this is her as she is. Now, before we actually have a look at her, I want to give you an idea of the scale of her, because she is a 12-inch figure. Well, not quite 12 inches, she's 29 centimeters there. If you measure her from the bottom of her foot to the top of her head, you see she's 29 centimeters. Her widest point is across her hands there, which is just under 11 centimeters. And depth-wise, we're looking at about 4 centimeters, which is really from her chest to her back. Now, she is dressed in her check skirt and blouse, and she's got her red cape on. She does have underwear on, so she is wearing a pair of white pants. You can just about see that at the bottom there. And she's also wearing her boots. She has got the usual dolly hair, which is kind of like thick wool, if you like. It's the hair that all the dolls had of the time back in the 1960s and 70s. Articulation-wise, these dolls were not great. To be perfectly honest with you, they were pretty poor, really, as far as articulation was concerned. But then I suppose, you know, that's just the way they made them back in the day. There wasn't overly concentrating on how well they moved and how well they stood up. But let's have a look. So we've got the head. So the head you can move the head around left, right, and centre, and the head can pull off. It's only on by a little hook there and a little hole, and it just pulls off, and then you can just push it back on, if I can get it back on now that I've pulled it off, which is pretty typical that I would struggle to get it back on, but there we go. Okay, so that's her head, and it's good movability, and her head is soft plastic, so you can squeeze it and do whatever you like with it, and you can brush her hair, style her hair, whatever you like. Now her arms, just lift up her cape, so her arm will move up and down. It's soft, so you can move it out, although it doesn't stay out because it's just going to move back to where it was. But it is soft rubber again, or soft plastic again, I should say. But you can move her arms backwards and forwards, no problem, and they stay wherever you leave them. But you can move her arms away as you like, and it's the same on the other arm as well. So you can move it backwards and forwards. Now, I did want to look to see if there was any markings on her upper torso. So I'm just going to undo her top, and let's have a look on her back. Is there anything there? No, there's no markings on her body there build dates or anything like that. I thought there might be licensing and copyright items on the back there, but there's not. So let's maintain her modesty, and let's do her clothes back up. And there we go. So that's the top section. Legs at the bottom, and let's lift the skirt up a bit so we can move her legs properly. So the legs move backwards and forwards, as you can see. Great movement on the legs, but there's no knee movement, there's no feet movement. So it literally is just the tops of the legs. And the sad thing about this, I mean, if I take her boots off, you can see that she's on tippy toes the whole time. So she won't even stand up unaided, unfortunately, because of the way they design this doll, which is a shame, really. Even when you put the boots on, remember, when you put the boots on, she's still only going to be standing on tiptoes, even though the boots will be flat, but she is unable to stand by herself. I've tried many different ways to get her to stand up by herself, but you've either got to lean her to one side, or you've got to put her on a stand, which is a great shame, really, because it's the only disappointing thing about this. Well, that and the articulation is a disappointing thing about it, but other than that, yeah, I mean, it's for 1965 doll. It looks absolutely nothing like Lady Penelope, to be perfectly honest with you. And why they've given her green lipstick, again, I'm quite unsure about that. The eyes are very good, but again, they're just painted, and the eyebrows are just painted onto the face. The hands, I think, are the best thing. They've done her hands very well. She's holding her hands out, as Lady Penelope Crumble used to do. And she's got her fingernails painted as well, so which is good. Now, there was a whole range of different clothes that they made for Lady Penelope as well. There was all sorts of different dresses and ball gowns that you could buy and change it to. So it was almost as if it was like a competition against Cindy or Barbie, who were also obviously very big back in those days. So maybe that was the thinking along the line of the Fairylite dolls, but it didn't quite happen. They did produce the guys as well. There was Virgil, Scott, John, and Alan. I don't know whether they've done Brains. Yes, I think they've done Brains. I'm pretty certain they've done Parker as well. I don't think they've done a Jeff Tracy doll. But anyway, so I think that's it. But they really didn't last for very long. I think after the Thunderbirds TV series came to an end, they discontinued the doll line. So it was only for a couple of years that these were actually produced, during Thunderbirds' initial television airing. So, and obviously it was very popular at the time, so which hence the reason why they produced these. And sadly, when the movies were produced, it didn't quite have the popularity that they thought it was going to have, and consequently Thunderbirds finished and they moved on to the next series, which I think was Captain Scarlet. Yeah, I'm sure the next one after Thunderbirds was Captain Scarlet. But anyway, back to the doll. So 65 to 2024, so we're 59 years ago this particular doll was produced and made. Have many of them survived the test of time? No, not many of them at all. Do they come up from time to time on the platforms? Yes, they do, but very occasionally. And usually when they come up on the platforms, they are bought very quickly. So, because of the rarity of the doll, even though there was a lot of them produced back in the 60s, there hasn't been that many that survived the test of time. We have had a few of these in the past. We've had them in the boxes, in the original boxes. We've had in the original boxes, she comes with a hairband. She also has a cigarette holder. And I think the handbag she comes with as well. Can't remember exactly what else she has, but she comes in the box as well. So we've had one or two of her where she's been in the box, but to be honest with you, they're like 4 times the money because they're in the original box with the accessories to go with them. But this particular figure is available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to quite simply by clicking the link below. It'll take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Gerry Anderson items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. And there will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that this is something you will not want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long-lost childhood memories. Well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful old rare action doll with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next video.